The Christmas nativity story is truly extraordinary, and this season of Advent has been particularly eye-opening for me. In a year like none of us have ever experienced before, we expectantly await the hope of Christmas in a new and profound way. Not only that, but several things I've been studying this year have opened my eyes to aspects of the nativity story I never realized. See, the challenge with stories we've heard for so many years is that our filters can so easily lead to assumptions that cause us to miss out on important facts and potential deeper meaning. Sometimes we can get so familiar with the story we've heard all our lives that we minimize the powerful significance it speaks to the ways God is at work in our world here and now. So for instance, one of the things I've learned recently is that it's very likely Jesus was not actually born in a stable. Luke records that Mary brought forth her firstborn son, wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger because there was no room for them in the inn. We've always assumed this took place in a stable because of the presence of animals. However, the Greek word for inn, kataluma, is more accurately translated guest room. What does it mean for the kataluma to have no room? On returning to Bethlehem for the census, Mary and Joseph probably stayed with his relatives, but because so many others were also coming to town, the house would have been crowded and the guest room full. Mary and Joseph would have likely needed to stay in the main room on the lower level of the house. Excavated homes from the first century reveal that the upper level served as a guest chamber and the lower level served as the main living area, where oftentimes the more vulnerable animals would be brought in at night for protection. Mary very likely gave birth to Jesus in the lower level of a crowded house while some of the animals had been brought in for the night. She then wrapped Jesus in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger, which is a feeding trough. This is extraordinary in the truest sense of the word because Jesus is not born isolated and alone some distance away in a stable. He's in the midst of family and all the visitors right in the thick of it and calling our attention. It is actually extraordinary, and that makes all the difference. You know, a common thought so easily sneaks into our thinking that we have to make our way to God, whether it's in a lofty way to the heavens or in a lowly way to a distant stable. But the fact is that God comes to us right in the midst of daily life. God is in our midst through Jesus, who is Emmanuel, God with us. In Christ, God meets us in the often messy and mundane routines of daily life, and that is extraordinarily extraordinary. May you recognize God's presence in your midst this year. Merry Christmas.